Welcome to the really late or possibly early, depending on your time zone show, with your host, Bloomer for the win! Tonight's show featuring special guest, 7FootFiend! Also featuring special guest, TiffuhKneePlays! Tonight's musical guest, Sunny Black Media! And now your host, Bloomer for the win!
Welcome to the show, guys. We've got a fantastic one ahead for you. Probably the best show yet. And we're going to be starting it off with news out of Baltimore. That's right, guys. A 22-year-old man, Reginald D. Wooding Jr. from Baltimore, was arrested while going for his driver's test. The examiner noticed a funny smell, and when Maryland police searched the vehicle, they found a pound of marijuana, a scale, over $15,000, and a loaded handgun. This is also known as a Baltimore survival pack. Reginald was disappointed that he did not get his license, but on the plus side, he did nail the parallel park. In this week's news from Florida, we had a woman, Danielle Dolores Teeples, running naked through the streets in an attempt to run away from a giant spider. Last time someone with the name Dolores ran away from mythical creatures, Harry Potter had just enough time to get to the Ministry of Magic to fight Voldemort. Danielle later admitted to police that she had been taking drugs, including crystal meth and crack cocaine, before taking off her clothes. No kidding, eh? A woman from the UK, Amethyst Realm, has claimed that she is in a serious and sexual relationship with a ghost. That's right. Amethyst says she met the ghost in Australia, and he has since moved back to the UK with her to continue the relationship. This is what happens when you name your kid Amethyst. When asked about previous relationships, she claims she has now slept with 15 different ghosts in the past 12 years. Sounds to me like someone needs to learn how to swipe left every once in a while. Amethyst says that she and her newest ghost lover have been thinking about having a ghost baby. I want to make a joke out of this, but it's 2018, and who am I to come between the love of a woman and her crazy delusions? This past week, a 6-foot-tall stuffed Spider-Man was stolen from a storefront in Yakima, Washington, by a 65-year-old man. The man in question didn't want to steal the doll, but he's been having a hard time since the breakup with his waifu body pillow that left him back in March. The man probably would have gone away with it if he was not caught yelling obscenities at a mailbox that he insisted was Iron Man. A Berlin airport was temporarily shut down due to a passenger's bag of sex toys. When the workers discovered suspicious content during a routine bag check and couldn't get an honest answer out of what was in the bag, they had to alert the bomb squad, who eventually determined the bag contained sex toys. Although the bag contained no explosives, some of the toys were reportedly the bomb. Despite numerous setbacks, NASA has launched their first rocket to the sun. The solar probe is set to explore the sun's outermost atmosphere, known as the corona. They, of course, plan to reach the sun at night. In all seriousness, it's about time we went on a trip to the sun. It seems like we've been circling the subject for years now. NASA scientists have been known to spend all night pondering how they can make this trip a reality. Then it dawned on them. After a tweet from Canada's Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland over human rights in Saudi Arabia, tension between the two countries has reached an all-time high. Almost every other country has gone on record saying that they are staying out of it, and that Canada and Saudi Arabia will have to work it out on their own. Canada's Prime Minister has gone on record saying that Canada has no friends, thusly entering our teenage emo years. Justin Trudeau is expected to get a more appropriate haircut, lip ring, and plans to replace the national anthem with My Chemical Romance's I'm Not Okay. The United States has unveiled a detailed plan to launch a military space force, which would be the 6th branch of the U.S. military. Vice President Mike Pence outlined 4 actions for the first steps in creating the Space Force, including a new U.S. Space Command, a military astronaut corps, a space development agency, and to boldly go where no man has gone before. Looking to have the organization up and running by 2020, President Trump wants to launch earlier and has been quoted saying, "I have the perfect idea for a spacesuit uniform." Insider information exclusive to the show tells us that the real reason Trump wants this pushed ahead is to be able to keep the people who settle on Mars from illegally immigrating back to the Earth. Twitch streamer Ninja is back in the news, this time for refusing to play video games with females. As a married man, Ninja wants to avoid the controversy of playing with females to stop the spreading of any rumors before they happen. Twitch streamers everywhere are confused because Dr. Disrespect assured us that playing with females that weren't your wife was totally fine. Guys, we've got a great show ahead for you. We're going to be kicking things off today with 7FootFiend. After that, we've got the lovely TiffuhKneePlays. Finally, back by popular demand, we've got musical sensation Sunny Black Media. Chat, don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Oh, I didn't see that. Serenia TV coming at you guys. You know, a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Serenia, do you like Monster? Are you sponsored by Monster?" And I say, I don't know, you know? Yeah, but I should be.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Our next guest is the self-proclaimed 7-foot-tall fiend.
I have a hunter's mark. Oh my god. I know. That was amazing. Oh, baby. Oh my goodness. That was so delicious. Can somebody clip that?
Chat, give it up for 7FootFiend.
Hello, everybody. Oh, can I say hello, everybody?
You can. That's totally allowed. We're
Sweet.
no holds barred here.
Exciting.
So let's start off with the very basics. 7FootFiend. Are you actually 7 foot tall?
So here's the thing, Bloom. I figure you can be whatever you want to be on the internet, and I pretend to be 7 foot tall when in reality I'm only 4'3".
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a hard part of my life for a long time. No, I'm an average height. I'm an average height human. I've been taller most of my life.
Yeah.
But the name didn't actually come from originally being 7 foot tall.
Okay. So where'd the name come from?
Well, I like Dr. Boom from Hearthstone, and I liked that he was named Dr. Seven, and I wanted that to be my name.
Okay.
And then I realized there already was a lot of doctors, so I changed it up, and I thought 7FootFiend had a cool sound to it.
It's
Looking
it
forward
is a
to it.
pretty cool. It always makes me think of Final Fantasy, to be honest with you.
Yes, yeah. That was another major factor.
Yeah.
Just fiends in general are all these demonic weird things, and also I was like, yeah, let's just make it so that I'm a jolly one. So I try and be as jolly as possible.
I like it, and you definitely are that. So we'll take a step back then, and we'll talk about this. So who are you? What do you stream? What do you do on Twitch?
Okay, well, we went over my name. I'm 7FootFiend. I
Yes.
stream Hearthstone, mainly Hearthstone, but also some puzzle indie type games on occasion. Also, sometimes play co-op games with my wife, which is fun. We do that on occasional weekends.
That's
And
fun.
then as of recently, I've started playing a little game you might know called Rocksmith.
I love it. I do, and I've heard of that game once or twice. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
That's super cool. Now, I just want to touch base on the fact I didn't realize that you and your wife stream together sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's not often, and we just do it straight from the Xbox. Like that's where I started streaming. Was you can just go on Twitch on Xbox, and I
Yeah.
had one, so I wanted to try it. And we'll just play like any of those stupid games where you bicker with each other, and people.
What's
It
that
gets kind of
cooking
fun.
one called? Like Cooking
Yeah,
Dash?
Overcooked was one of the
Overcooked.
first ones we played, and it was just like screaming at each other, having a good time, making each other laugh. And then recently we played the Unravel games, Unravel 1 and 2.
Cool.
If you've heard of those.
Yeah.
Just other little mini indie game things that we play. It's a lot of fun.
That's really cool, actually. I'm surprised I didn't know that already, but that's really neat, actually. And I always love when I get to hear that, whether it's family members, husband, wife, dad and daughter, whatever it is, when you can incorporate that, and it's just that's really neat and very fun.
Oh, it's a blast.
So you mentioned that you started playing some Rocksmith now, and
Yes, sir.
I'm a huge fan of that, so I got to talk about it. So yeah, you got your guitar
my
over the side.
guitar
I don't think they
right
can
close
see it
by.
on the
Oh,
thing.
shame.
I can see it on the full thing, but
It's a real
there it is.
guitar. My first ever guitar.
Very cool. So what got you inspired to play Rocksmith?
There's a couple factors there. When I was a kid, I always wanted to play guitar, but I had this feeling that I'd already missed the boat because like all my friends in high school could already play guitar, and I was like, I guess it's too late for me now.
Yeah.
And then one day I decided, forget that. I'll just try it anyways. And then a long time passed again, and then I found your channel, and you're like, yeah, I started learning guitar straight from Rocksmith, and I was like, that is insane. You're actually like playing the guitar, because like they say it's Guitar Hero with a guitar, and it is, but I was like, you're not going to be able to get really good with that. And when I saw you playing, I was like, you look like you're playing. I could probably do that, and so I figured I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, I faked my way through a song or two, I guess.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do. Just fake it till you make it, brother.
Hey, isn't that the story of Twitch streaming as well?
It's the story of my entire life.
It's true though, and you know what? I always say I have to kind of like hashtag add it a bit because I am affiliated with Ubisoft and Rocksmith.
Yeah.
But it blows my mind how well it works. It
Oh, yeah.
really does. If you're willing to commit, and it does take, as you're finding out, I'm sure now, it does take time. It does take
Oh, yeah.
patience. It takes work. There's no doubt about it. These are things that there's no workaround when it comes to guitar.
No.
But it makes it fun. And it makes you energized to say, hey, I want to pick up my guitar and I want to play a few songs. And
I think
wanna
that's
beat
what
my
it
high
is.
score.
Yeah. It's more like when you're playing the song, at least it already sounds like music instead of like strumming a couple tunes or a couple notes or whatever, and it just sounds like ding, 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 ding. When you're playing Rocksmith, it actually is like you're listening to a song, so it feels good.
I remember the first time I ever played Rocksmith, and maybe you can tell me if you had a similar feeling. I remember I was standing in front of my PC and the music went and my headphones were on, and I was hitting like, every 30th note basically in the song. And I was like, I am a rock star. I start like kicking, I'm like headbanging along with it. I'm missing every like third note that even showed up, and it was.
Oh, it feels so good. Yeah, it was pretty similar for me. Like I don't know about you, but I was a Guitar Hero, like super
absolutely.
ultra pro, like way too good at that game. One of those
Absolutely.
idiots that's just like, and I just felt like that was a lot of wasted time.
It's so true.
Yeah, but I was like, if I can do that, then I can probably do Rocksmith. And yeah, it's that same feeling of like you feel like a rock god
Yeah,
while you're playing, even if you're
absolutely.
really bad.
It's just 100% the truth, and I'm very much so in the same boat, which is I think why Rocksmith really was so, I don't want to say easy for me to pick up, but like easy for me to pick up.
Easier, yeah.
Yeah, because of the fact that I was so used to reading Guitar Hero notes or Rock Band notes that the concept, it didn't take very long for it to sink in, and then it's okay just following my guitar track, and next thing I know I'm working my way through the whole neck of the guitar and holding chords, and yeah, it was really neat.
I'll get there someday. Right now I'm just planning on a couple of the notes.
You absolutely will. You just gotta keep pushing through it, and I think it's so cool that you are doing it on stream.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I figure anything I do now, it's more fun to stream because I like being with people.
Yeah.
And just hanging out with people playing guitar rather than sitting alone in my basement playing a guitar is very different.
Absolutely. And it's again, because you're building a community, it's neat to just you hang out with your friends, and
that's more
they get to see your progress, which is really cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wicked.
Just hanging out with people, feeling good.
Exactly. 100%. Now, you did say Hearthstone is your main game though. So Rocksmith is just something you do from time to time.
Yeah. It's becoming less than, like, I'm trying to make it more a mix, but Hearthstone was my main streaming game for a extended amount of my Twitch life.
So it's got you started with Hearthstone. What made you pick up that game and say, yes, this is something I want to play a lot of?
I feel like it's a similar story to a lot of people. I had a junky computer. I could only run Hearthstone. And I was like, yo, I want to do this Twitch thing. I guess Hearthstone's going to be the game that I play. I had also been playing Hearthstone for like a couple years before that. And I just love the game. It's so much fun. I was a big Magic fan, and Hearthstone just kind of scratched that itch that I lost when I stopped playing Magic.
Yeah.
I just have a blast with it.
Now, are you going to be picking Magic back up now that, like, I know everybody's fighting for beta keys and stuff like that right now?
So I do have a beta key, and I did stream MTG Arena, and it is a fun time. I am enjoying it a lot. Here's my issue with MTG Arena and Hearthstone. Hearthstone, it's just so comfy to play Hearthstone. It just feels warm and fuzzy. And when you're in MTG Arena, it's like dark and dingy, and it feels better to play Hearthstone. It's colorful and beautiful. So that's where it kind of, I'm having issues transferring over.
It has a good vibe that you're comfortable. That's the long story short. You said it. You're comfy.
Yeah.
I totally get that. See, now for me, I gotta be honest with you. I also got a beta key for Magic, and I have no clue what's going on in that game.
Did you play Magic as a kid?
No, I never did. That's why.
It's a much more complicated game.
I had friends that had Magic cards, and I asked them about them, and they basically also didn't really understand the game. It was kind of like, so we had Pokemon cards. That was the big one for like kind of my school and all my friends. And we didn't play Pokemon properly either. We would like put down our cards and basically say, okay, this guy attacks that guy, this guy attacks that guy. And then we also played for keeps, so it was really whoever went first would always win.
Yeah, and you have no idea what the rules are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
As well.
Yeah. No, I eventually tried. I did learn the proper way to play Pokemon eventually, although, I mean, that was way back when, so I'm sure it's very different now. But that's because I had a Game Boy game, the Pokemon card.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was my first like card game experience.
Okay. No, with Magic, I used to play it all the time. There's different ways to play. You can play there's 5 colors. I was always the green color, which anybody that knows Magic is, this guy's an idiot if you play green. But it's basically just make huge dudes and hit them with as big of things as you can make, which is just so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do in Arena as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But that being said, of course, Hearthstone is where your heart lies right now. Now,
it really is.
And I know you do a lot of cool things with Hearthstone, and I'm actually even seeing behind you right now. You have something called the Deck Build Challenge. Look at that; it's almost like you knew.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that for a minute. What is it? What do you do on your stream with that?
Okay, so with Hearthstone, most of the Hearthstone streams you watch are playing the meta, playing the best decks, learning how to play those good decks, and getting better at the game. What I like to do with Hearthstone is look at different interactions with cards, try and find different mechanics that work together, and just build our own decks, similar to a good friend of mine and yours, Wow Hobbs, who just finds cool things you can do in the game and make it work. Yeah. So what I decided to do was invent a challenge, a tournament of sorts called the Deck Build Challenge. And every week, what happens is there's an archetype that is set out by the previous week's winner. So whether it be Cthulhu Hunter or a spellless mage or anything weird that isn't meta, like no, there was no pirate back then. So we'd play something fun, and then everybody kind of theory crafts a deck. And the fun part is that I have people like, say you don't have all the cards that you want to build this deck.
Yeah.
You create it on Hearthstone. You send the list to me. I have most of the cards, and then I'll build your deck, and I'll play it, and then we'll have a tournament. We'll do like everybody gets 3 games. Whoever wins the most games wins. So if you make what was last week's? Fuck, I can't remember. I have a bad memory. But
that's all right. Let's just go with like it was a spellless mage. We heard spellless mage before. The spellless mage.
Yeah, so you make that, and then we see whose is the best deck, and it's a lot of fun, and it just makes Hearthstone more interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's and I also I get to decent ranks. I'm not like legend or anything, but a lot of people that play Hearthstone hang out around 18 or 19. I'm usually up there at like 10 or 5. So it's fun to play those wacky decks at a higher rank.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's sadly you hit the nail on the head when you said most of us hang around that 18, 19, some of us closer to 20, 21. And it's fun because I like to play a different deck as well. I'm very much so, if everybody's going this way, I want to go that way. And to me, like I don't want to watch the meta, not in Hearthstone anyways, because after you've watched it 6, 7, 8 times, you go, okay, I get it. Moving on.
Yeah, so I think what I like to do is the key to Hearthstone that I've decided in my mind is not knowing play the decks, but rather knowing what you're playing against. So I feel like that gives you an upper hand when you're deck building. If I know that everybody's playing Miracle Rogue, I know what cards they have, and then I can just build around that and find some way to win. And it's a lot of fun to make those people sad.
There you go. That's the real goal of 7FootFiend and his stream, everyone, is just make everyone sad.
The opponents. Crush the opponent's hopes and dreams.
Exactly. It's a very interactive way to get your community involved in the stream, though, because I imagine when your deck comes up, you want to be there. You want to see how this goes.
I think that's a big fun part of it. And you put a lot, like people put a lot of work into thinking and theory crafting and trying to make things work, and they want to see if it does work, and then that kind of saves them dust on crafting cards as well. If they didn't want to, if they were like on the edge of should I craft this, should I not, and then I'm just like, yeah, no, this is an idea, but it's not working out, because there's a difference between playing wacky decks that suck and wacky decks that are actually viable. So I try and work towards this way where it's like, yeah, it's a lot of weird things going on, but you could still win. Where there's other people that just make wacky decks and like, haha, we lose again.
That's me. That's me. I'm like, oh, we lost 7 in a row. I bet this is the one that works. Click.
Yeah.
Now I wanna shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk about the fact that your computer, I mean, touch wood, so far it seems like we're running pretty well, pretty fantastic. So you've obviously had a bit of a computer upgrade, and I know the story, or at least part of the story. I'd love to hear the whole story from you, though.
So I started streaming with a really junky laptop that I bought a couple years ago, and I wanted to stream. I didn't want to stream on my Xbox anymore, so I tried to make the thing work. It barely held on, and slowly over time I got more frustrated. I had an old junky iMac that I switched to from like, I don't know, 2007 or something. Just an old computer, but it ran better than my laptop.
Yeah.
And eventually I got to a point where I was streaming one day and just talking about, oh yeah, somebody asked, hey, your computer kind of sucks. I was like, yeah, we're working on it. And then somebody else by the name of Zonehawk, I don't know if you know that feller.
I do, absolutely.
Was like, hey, yo, don't worry about your computer. I got you. And I was like, LOL, okay, thanks, buddy. And sure enough, a couple months later, another feller by the name of Texas T-Bone King, I don't know if you know that feller, but he's another
that name as well.
So he's like, yeah, man, I'm building you a computer. I was like, LOL, okay. Because when you hear those things, it's like, sure, yeah, thanks for supporting the channel, but don't stress it, man. I got this. And he's like, no,
You don't want to hold your breath for that exactly either.
Yeah. Oh no. And you don't expect anything like that. So I was like, hey, don't stress it, man. And then he sent me a picture across. He's like, here's your computer. I was like, holy, fuck. You bleep things out, right?
I can. We might not. Let's see. We'll find out how busy I am this week for the editing process.
Oh, geez. So yeah, sure enough, he's like, here's your computer. I was like, okay. And then a feller by the name of Geeksay, I don't know if you've heard of his name before.
Once or twice, I've heard of that one as well.
Helped give him some money, and there was a few more people, and it just was an overwhelming thing. And sure enough, Texas T-Bone, he's from Texas. He was going on a round trip vacation of like all of North America. He's like, yeah, I'm going to stop up around your way and drop your computer off. I was like, okay.
Wow.
I'll take it.
That's
So he brought it, and it's beautiful, and it runs like a dream, and it's the happiest I've ever been as far as computing power goes.
I was like, well, the day you got married, things like that. Yeah, close second, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. Just the fact that I'm sitting in front of this thing, like the generosity of people on Twitch is beautiful.
It really is absolutely mind-boggling some days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's not so crazy. I just wanted to stream so that I could play video games, not be alone. And then you find the coolest of all cool people on the internet.
It's absolutely the truth. And it is, sometimes I hear people, giving some smack towards the Twitch community. I don't understand it. I mean, maybe there are those people out there, absolutely. But
there's always trolls.
But that's exactly it. 1 in 10 people, I always say, are going to troll. They're going to be jerks. They're going to be whatever in any aspect of life.
I thought you were going to go the other way with that. 1 in 10 are good people.
No. I have a little more faith in that. I'm going to say 9 in 10 are really great people. But there's always going to be that one bad seed in the group. And I think the real truth, though, is that Twitch is a perfect example of a lot of good people. Yeah, a couple bad, but a lot of good people coming together. Yeah. And truthfully, it shows the generosity of humanity sometimes, and it's really a cool thing. And because I know as well, I also luckily have a new PC thanks to a community. And
yes, that's right.
It's incredible. And I'm just like yourself, blown away, humbled, and occasionally I look down and go, wow, am I friggin' lucky,
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's really nice.
It's unreal. Now, I think it's an interesting thing to have you on the talk show because of the fact that right now I'm interviewing you, of course, but you have a little show of your own.
Just a little teeny one.
Just a little teeny one, he says, as the guy at the tiniest show on Twitch.
Tiniest show on Twitch.
Now, your show, is it Gamey Talkie?
So we call it the Gamey Talkie Show. It's it's a show about gamies and talkies, but it doesn't necessarily stick to just games. We talk about a bunch of just any internet news or Twitch news. We touched on like when the affiliate program came into play. This was like it started and restarted. So when the affiliate program was coming up, we talked about that. Sub badges becoming a thing, and we just kind of chat about how different streamers feel about the changes that Twitch makes, or the what's the word? The atmosphere of the internet, I guess, and like how YouTube is doing with the change of people not watching YouTube as much and watching Twitch more, things like that, and just get different people's opinions on what they think of what's going on that current week.
Yeah. Now, and of course, it's not just yourself, but you actually have a team that you do this with. I believe there's 4 of you.
There's 4 of us. There's me, a feller by the name of Papa Baron, Rage Scavenger, and Venomous Platypus. All really awesome people that I met through Twitter and Twitch and just through the internet. None of that's the crazy thing. I'm hosting this show with people that I don't even know necessarily, but they're all super awesome.
And isn't that the truth? And now I understand as well, you're looking to start bringing some guests onto your show as well.
Yeah, starting this week, we're going to have our first guest. It's all totally planned and ready to go. Sort of. Yeah, man. As you know, putting a show together is not easy. Our show is live. It's every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we do it live on Twitch. We stream it, so it's not as edited. It's just kind of, sometimes it turns to screaming at each other. Sometimes it turns to laughing with each other. Most of the time, it's just a lot of argumentative discussion. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I've tuned in now a couple times myself, to be honest with you. And it's a very well done show, and there's a lot of interesting thoughts on it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Appreciate that.
recommend it to people. Go check it out. Absolutely. And on that note, we are going to drop it right there, guys. You can find him twitch.tv/7FootFiend. You can also find him on Twitter. Same exact thing, 7FootFiend. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me, man. Much appreciated.
Very, very happy to have you here. Guys, stick around. We've got plenty more show to go. Have you ever wanted to advertise your stream and or product on the world's okayest talk show? Well, now's your chance. To put an ad on the show, send an email with your 15 to 30 second ad to bloomerforthewin@gmail.com with your Twitch username and what you do. Welcome back to the show, guys. Our next guest can be found over at twitch.tv/TiffuhKneePlays.
Oh my god, these things are annoying. And they don't even count towards my shit? That's unfortunate. Holy crap. I gotta pee super bad now. I was doing fine with not having to pee until I suddenly had to pee like all over everyone. Yes. Like, remember R. Kelly?
Chat, give it up for Tiffany.
Hi! Just dinging over here when I'm blind.
Tiffany, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I am stupendous, superb, fantastic, and every other great word you can think of all at the same time. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Heck yeah, I'm glad to be here. I was stoked when you asked me.
Well, I was stoked that you were available and that you said yes, because I actually have started to, although we have recently become friends, I've started to watch your stream a fair amount, and I think you're just an absolute delight. I think you're awesome.
Thanks.
You're very welcome, and I mean that very sincerely. Your stream it's just fun. It feels good, and you're a beacon of positivity, which is just a fantastic thing to find in this crazy world.
It is. I coined a new phrase the last time I was live. I am Twitch's pocket of positivity, because everyone loves pockets.
There you go. There you go. Now, let's start actually and talk about that for a minute, because you are such a positive person. And I think that's such a beneficial, awesome thing for a streamer in general. But is that like come naturally to you, or that's all right? Is that like just a natural thing in your whole life, or is it something that you've had to work for? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was not a positive Peggy when I was a kid. I was like Bane with negativity. I was just baptized in it and molded by it. And I went a really long time with being a negative person, and my life didn't really go the way I wanted it to in so many ways. And a couple of years ago, I kind of had this little come to Jesus with myself, like, well, maybe it's my fault, and maybe it's not everyone else and the whole world out to get me. Like, maybe if I change my perspective, and maybe if I focus on the good things, and if I focus on being happy and grateful instead of envious and wishing that I had what I didn't have, maybe things would go a little better. And holy crap, they sure have. I mean, it's only been a couple years. I've really been trying to just be positive about everything. I mean, life throws a whole bunch of stuff at you all the time, and the only thing that you can control is your attitude. Everything else is completely out of your hands.
Absolutely. That is so true. And so, I mean, obviously you've already kind of implied it, but things have changed. Things have started to kind of been a bit more get back what you give, you find?
Yes, definitely. Like begets like. You get what you give. There's a million different idioms for saying that you reap what you sow, and it's because they're all true. If you're just sprinkling positivity on everybody, well, you're going to get positivity sprinkled back on you. And same with negativity. If you just go around trying to bring everyone down, then, I mean, you're really bringing yourself down at that point.
It's so true, isn't it? And I know, so the first time, just so everybody in chat would know this, that the first time you and I got to meet, it was actually a situation of we were just playing Overwatch randomly, and it was myself and a couple of the other fam jammers, and we got to hear you talking, and just we really appreciated the fact that you were such a positive person in, of all places, the Overwatch world, which is one of the
Right.
most toxic communities in gaming for those that don't know. So we thought this is awesome, and I forget exactly how. I probably tried to plug Amazon Prime or something.
Yes,
And,
you did.
of course. And that's when we found out, of course, you're a streamer, and we made our way to your channel, and the rest is history, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and like I said, though, it was just such a delight, and I find that there's a lot of streamers. I talk to a lot of streamers. That's a big part of my day, is going in and checking out different streamers' channels and things like that. And I will say a lot will claim positivity, but then when you watch them for 20, 30 minutes, you start to see that it comes and goes in waves, but it doesn't seem to be with you at all. It's just an ongoing ride of positivity the whole time.
I've had my moments. I think the best thing that you can do is you can give yourself grace, because everything that you do in life, you're gonna screw up, and you're not gonna be able to do it 100%. But practice makes perfect. One of the funniest things, it's funny you mentioned that. One of my first streams, I had like positivity in the title. I was, doing my whole positive thing. And then it's Overwatch, and you know how Overwatch goes. And I got cussed out and called some horrible things for, I don't believe I deserved it.
Yeah.
It hit me some sort of way. I was feeling some sort of way, and my boyfriend was watching my stream on his phone, and while I was ranting, he was like, you hit like your peak viewership at like 9 while you were ranting and going on and just being super freaking toxic. I was like, damn, like the one time, because that was one of the first ones I had, but for the most part, I mean, it's, who cares what people on the internet do? Who cares what they say? Who cares if the game goes wrong? Like, there's a silver lining everywhere.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, there are more important things than whether that one match of Overwatch was a win or a loss, right?
Right, absolutely. Like, does pineapple belong on pizza? Yes.
Oh, you're on that side. Oh my goodness, that's a
I'm there.
conversation. Now let's talk about this for the next 3 hours. See, I'll tell you. Here's the real truth. I joke about it. I always say pineapple on pizza is terrible.
You've never tried it, have you?
No, I've had it many a times.
Okay.
Many a times. And I'll be honest, it's okay. It's all right. But you know what? Here's my real attitude, though, is I love pineapple, but I like it like cold. I like it when you just cut it up and eat it. Whereas I find when you put it warm on pizza, it kind of takes away, like it makes the pineapple, instead of being a 10 out of 10, it's like a 7 out of 10. And it makes the pizza, instead of having like a really good, like a Canadian or a Meat Lovers or whatever, you take that 10 out of 10 pizza and you make it like a 7 out of 10. So that's fair. That's my general attitude, but I do like it. I mean, I'm just that guy who thinks it's funny to go on about how terrible it is. If you like pineapple pizza, you're crazy. But well, that was a little rant on pizza. But let's go back here. We have skipped way ahead already. I want to talk about, who are you? What do you stream? For those in chat that don't know who Tiffany is, let's talk about you.
Well, I'm a Blizzard fangirl. It's who I am. I tried to get away from it for a few years, but Blizzard, it just sucks me right back in with everything that they do. So I play more WoW these days than Overwatch. Okay. But I have I've got 3 kids, and then bonus kid from my boyfriend. They're all in school, so I get to do all that stuff while I have an empty house.
Fine.
That's kind of dope.
That is kind of dope. I was gonna bring that up, that you're a mother of 72, actually. So that's that's all sorts of cool. Now, yeah, do you find it difficult at all to be a mother of, well, I guess 4, not 72, but a mother of 4, and still balance all that IRL stuff, all the responsibilities that come with being a parent, especially for that many kids, and yet still being able to find the time to get your streams in and maintain a somewhat consistent schedule?
It's hard sometimes, but all in all, it needs a little bit of organization, which I'm awful at. Mm-hmm. So luckily my boyfriend, he helps keep me focused on things. So like here, the kids just started school. So like I just got my summer routine handled, and then like boom, everything's up in smoke because now I've got 3 kids in 3 different schools
Oh
that
wow,
I have
okay.
to handle in the mornings. So it's a balance, and you figure it out. I had my oldest when I was 18, so I've been at the mom game for a while.
Wow, no kidding, eh? So what's the age split amongst your kids?
So I've got Theodore is 11. He'll be 12 this year.
Wow.
My daughter Lillian is 10. Callie is 9, and then Benjamin is 5.
Wow. So yeah, you got a fairly good spread there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's-
My 40s are gonna be lit. They're gonna be gone. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be so amazing. Of course, the kids are not gonna be watching this, hopefully.
No, hopefully.
No, that's really cool though. And obviously, all joking aside, being a mom is amazing, right? You love it.
Mhm.
It's they bring light and joy to your life every single day, right?
Absolutely. When we took the older 2 kids, Theodore and Lillian, to open house for middle school and elementary school, it was so cool watching like what good humans I've raised,
Yeah.
because we'd go in there to go see their old teachers, and like I'd see the teachers and they're greeting the other kids and they're giving them a hug. I'm like, hey, how's your summer? It's good to see you. Bye. And that was it. And then my kids come in and they go, how are you? I missed you. And there's hugs and there's chit chat and they're catching up and they're bragging and they're just doting on my kids.
That's
And
exciting.
we won't talk about the little one, but the older 2, man,
Is the little
awesome.
one your troublemaker?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was me growing up too.
Yeah. He's spirited. He's very, very smart.
Yeah.
And I've known he was going to be trouble for years.
Now, are there any great stories, or are those the ones you have to keep off stream?
Oh man, the cutest. My favorite story about Benjamin, because he's not all bad. He's my Sour Patch Kid. He loves hugs. He loves being affectionate and helping, but he also loves doing what Benjamin wants to do. But when he was maybe 2, Callie had this little frozen karaoke purse. I don't know why you'd have a karaoke purse, but thanks Walmart. And it played Frozen songs and you could sing along karaoke with it, but Benjamin didn't know the words, so he just walked around with the microphone right up here going, I don't know it, I don't know it. just singing I don't know it.
Just living life large.
In a diaper. Yep.
No, that's fantastic. It's so true. Parents can really tell early on, like, oh boy, this one's gonna be trouble. My mom's favorite story telling about me is my first words, believe it or not, were no mine. My brother took a toy away from me, so I took it back and said no mine. And my mom, she tells me to this day, the first thing she just went, what? She went over the phone, called her friend, and said, yep, I've got trouble with this one.
He waited his whole life to say no mine.
Exactly. Too funny. So, all right, you've been playing Overwatch, you've been playing World of Warcraft. You said a little more WoW now. So how long have you been playing World of Warcraft for?
Oh God, I've spent so much money on that game. I played maybe a couple months before Wrath of the Lich King came out.
Okay.
I used to work at a bar, and every night after work, we'd all go to the Waffle House and drink because it was 2, 3 in the morning. So we drink coffee. Coffee, I should have said. But I got to be friends with all the people that work there, and the cook, he played WoW, and he finally got me into it. And then a couple months later, Wrath of the Lich King dropped. I took a couple years break in between, but the last thing I played was Draenor.
Okay.
So it's been years since I played, and I just picked it back up again. I can't put it down.
It's funny, this expansion, I feel like a lot of people have been, or this coming expansion, that I guess will be actually dropping the day that this airs, smiley face. But a lot of people seem to be picking it back up. I know myself included, actually. I had not played, I guess I played for about 1 month last expansion. I was very lucky and had the opportunity to do that. But I've picked it back up, and oh man, it's tough to turn it off again, isn't it?
It is. It sure is. There's just so much to do, and sometimes it's overwhelming. But if you can focus and WoW, you're fine.
Yeah, it's a serious issue I have. I'll start off saying, okay, I'm gonna get this quest line done, and then next thing I know, I'm working on my cooking skills, and then I realize though I need to use fish to do that, so I'm looking up where I need to go for fishing to get that specific fish. So I go off into like a different continent, and next thing you know, I'm like, wait, wasn't I getting a legendary weapon a minute ago? And here I am, I'm grinding out fishing skill. And it's,
That's how it works.
it's the sad truth of my World of Warcraft experiences. So how about Overwatch? Did you get in on that one early on, or is that a newer pickup for you as well?
It's new-ish. I wasn't in on it at the start. I think we started on season 2 or 3 on console.
Okay.
Someone that my boyfriend worked with really, really, really wanted him to play Overwatch with him.
Okay.
So he was obsessed with Overwatch. My boyfriend went out and bought it for Xbox, because that's what we have, is an Xbox. But that wasn't what he meant. He wanted him to play on PC. So he actually gifted my boyfriend his old gaming PC, and we went out and we got Overwatch, and I used to play on his, like whenever Tim was at work or gone or anything, I'd pop on and I'd play Overwatch. I was so dog crap at it at first. But then finally I was like, this isn't good enough. And I had some money lying around. I was like, I'm buying me a PC.
Yeah.
I've played Overwatch like nearly every day ever since. And that was like over a year ago.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though? Again, it's another fantastic game. You and I have very similar game taste apparently, because we play a lot of the same things. And oh yeah, I love Overwatch. Love it.
I'm convinced that Blizzard is a branch of the government. Their sole purpose is to suck in the gamer crowd. Like, we couldn't get them with football, so let's go with the video game.
You know, I mean, why not, right? With the next thing you know, you're like pausing all the different esports, like Overwatch League and stuff. You're seeing subliminal messages.
I can't look away. Like, I'm so obsessed with even when there's games that I don't like. If I see esports playing and like good casting, I'm like, well, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, of course, obviously. What else am I gonna do with my day? The kids are crying for supper. You're like, shh, just 30 more minutes.
Cereal on the floor.
Yeah. Now, do you have a main you play in Overwatch, or are you a flex player? What do you do?
So I'm mostly flex. I play a lot of support. I was a reluctant Mercy main.
Okay.
I played Pharah for a while, and then my boyfriend was a Pharah main too, and he was like, be Mercy, be my pharmacy. And I didn't want to, because, you know, I don't know if you know this, but there's a stereotype about girls playing Mercy.
There is a little bit of one, yeah.
I was like, I fulfill every single basic girl stereotype. I can't do this one too. I can't. I have too many. But I did it, and because no one else would heal, I was way down in bronze for a time. The lowest I was ever at was like 700 SR.
Okay.
So I picked up Mercy. I climbed out of that crap, and now I've got like 175 hours on her.
Wow.
But I play Moira too. I love off tanking. I can't main tank worth a crap.
Okay.
I'm the most autistic Reinhardt you've ever seen in your life.
See, and then I don't even want to talk. I don't even, like 500 hours on Reinhardt or something ridiculous now.
He's your Mercy.
Yeah, he's my Mercy. And it's the same situation. So I played back like day one. I was playing in the beta, like all that. And it was the biggest thing was nobody wanted to tank. Everybody wanted to play DPS, and you always had someone willing to play Mercy. So there was always this role of nobody's tanking. And I just always said, okay, I guess I will. And sure enough, start off as a reluctant Ryan main. Now I enjoy him a lot. He's a fun character. But yeah, same exact thing. I know that the feeling of, okay, I guess I'll help out the team. So
yeah. I've turned into a pretty decent Mercy, if I may toot my own horn.
You may.
I'm not super high in the ranks. I've only ever gotten up to platinum.
Okay.
But as far as just not completely weaving out, I know how to play her. I know my way around a Mercy and a Moira.
Awesome. Super awesome. Now we've talked about a little bit. Kind of, he's been brought up a few times here. But your boyfriend, I believe he is a streamer as well.
Yep.
Very cool. Now,
Timmy Two Clips.
now, did you two did one of you stream first, then the other? How did that whole situation work out?
Yes, I actually was the first and the second to start streaming. This is not my first rodeo.
Oh.
I briefly streamed on another account last year, but just due to some personal reasons, I had to stop. And Tim had always been very interested in streaming, and after I stopped, he wanted to start, and he was looking into it, and he finally took the plunge, and he started his channel and
Cool.
started killing it. And I was like, but I miss it too now. So I just decided I didn't want anything to do with the other channel because of I had people watching that I knew IRL that it scuzzed me the fuck out. So they weren't watching because they're like, oh, I love her, I want to support her. It's like, well, I'm gonna scour her content and see if I can catch her doing the slightest thing wrong.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that.
Yeah,
So.
just not fun, not a positive experience by any means.
Exactly. So I decided to take my channel into my own hands, keep it more personal while I'm growing and while I'm establishing myself without having to worry about, someone not liking what they see. Because if they don't, they can move on. But I know it's not going to be with malicious intent now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Now, one more time, sorry. What was your boyfriend's channel's name?
Oh, he is Timmy Two Clips.
All right, we'll try and give him a little self-promo here at the same time. So, now what does he stream?
He is mostly Fortnite, but he's starting to play WoW now too. He used to stream Overwatch, and he used to play Overwatch, but the salt dried him up. There is no more Timmy Two Clips in Overwatch, which I can't say that I blame him, honestly. I can't blame anyone that leaves a game over toxic environments.
I absolutely get it. Not to get into a story about me, but so this morning I woke up a little early, had a few things to get done, and I jumped into one round of Overwatch just because, quick one round. And currently where my SR is, I know I can almost carry a game. So I was like, perfect. We'll just jump in and play. And one person didn't join voice chat. And because of that, someone else said, well, I'm throwing. Then immediately switched off of their healer role into the Widowmaker role, and then proceeded to throw throughout the game. And
My God.
I can understand why, because I was like, this sucks because I have time for one round and this is all I get to do. I can totally understand why someone would say, you know what, if this is going to be half my games, this isn't fun. I'm not going to be part of that. And it really is such a shame that the toxic community can take away from what otherwise would be an absolutely awesome time.
Absolutely.
Which brings us back to why you're so awesome and why your stream is so fantastic. And that's that you are, again, a shining beacon of positivity in a otherwise very dark and cloudy, we'll say, sea of just whatever competitive sport.
Doom and gloom of the internet.
Exactly. So back to your boyfriend for about how long have the two of you been together?
It's been about 5 years now.
Wow, that's exciting,
Yep.
eh?
Yep, met him on the internet. Thanks, Plenty of Fish.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Remember when people used to be ashamed of that?
Yeah.
Like, you're old enough. We're about the same age. Like,
Yeah.
if you met your significant other on the internet like 10 years ago, everyone like looked down their nose at you like you were some sort of loser crazy person. But now you're like, yeah, swiped right on Tinder.
Yeah, and it's almost like, where else would you meet someone? Like, wait, you met at the grocery store? What sort of weirdos are you? You're supposed to keep your head down, grab your stuff, and move on out.
Yeah, you can't meet people when you're scrolling through Facebook on your phone. Like,
yeah, that's weird. But no, it's actually funny because it's true, and I know there's a bunch of people, and thank God we're in this community and this area, because Twitch's people are a little more, I think, accepting and open to the internet. And it's absolutely the truth, what you said, that just 10 years ago, I remember I was a Plenty of Fish user myself, and I know that it was one of those things where, oh, I have a date tonight. Where'd you meet her? I met her just around. Just it was around the places, because you're right, it was there was a social stigma behind it. Whereas now, if you're single, it's almost like you're not doing online dating. What?
Right.
That's weird. Like,
It's
why?
such a weird time because like I'm 30, so
Okay.
I've been around when video games and gamers, like, we were just, if you lifted up a rock, you could see us.
Yeah.
But that was it. But now, like, over the past couple years, like, now that the internet is such a prevalent part of everyone's lives, like, our underground culture that we used to have, it's blossoming to the top, and now it's suddenly acceptable, and it's honestly, it's interesting as hell to watch.
Isn't that the truth? I forget who it was. I had someone else on the show recently, and we were talking about this, about how it's so interesting that if we were born, because I'm just slightly older than you, but if we were born about 10 years later, that would have went from being one of the biggest nerds in the school to one of the most popular people in the school, because you know, from being, oh my gosh, that guy does nothing but play video games all day, to whoa, that guy plays video games all day and he's so good at them, you know.
Right.
So,
like, no one cared how much I could Mario on my NES back then. No one gave a shit.
yeah, no, it's true. And it's such a unique, interesting age that we have gotten the opportunity to grow up through. And I'd say in some ways it's really positive, and really it's cool, because there's never I can't think of a time that there's ever been such drastic changes in the world than right, like these last 20 years. But then yet you also, again, you kind of wonder, if I had been just like, you know, 10, 15 years younger, like, oh my gosh, what would have been different? What would have changed? And would I be a professional gamer by now? So
yeah, I mean, it's like the Industrial Revolution 2.0, if you think about it. I mean, we're just like the grandparents that went from pre-Industrial Revolution to suddenly like, what are all these electric horses?
Yeah,
That's us.
Well, you have to think, like, with the next generation, when you talk you were born back in the 1900s, they're gonna think we're the oldest people on the planet. Like, like, and it's so funny because I like to, you know, I laugh about, like, oh my gosh, you were born in 2000, you baby, like, you small child. But then you realize, oh my god, they're 18 now. They're 18. They're like adults now. That's terrifying.
Yep.
Oh my.
Yep. Every time I see the little board, like when I'm at the gas station and they have the cigarette board, like, you must be born from this date or later.
Yeah.
And like, God, it hurts. It hurts. I'm starting to hear the songs of my childhood on the classic rock channels. Has that happened to you yet?
Yes, it has. Oh my goodness. Isn't that terrifying? Like, in all honesty.
Green Day is playing on the classic rock channels here.
Green Day is not, that's modern rock, guys, not classic.
Thank you.
Come on. That came out last week, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's very it's true, and it's a funny thing to see as you start to become older, and you start to, the biggest thing for me that I also realized is that a lot of television shows or movies or whatever, instead of me growing up and almost like in my head pretending like I'm the main character and like I'm going through this with them, and now I'm like, oh my god, that main character is so young, you know, if he had just thought through this decision, he could have actually made this much shorter and it would have worked out so much better for him. Like, I'm getting to that old man bloomer stage in my life. Yeah,
the get off my lawn part of life.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly. I'm there. My daughter's watching Pretty Little Liars. I don't know if you know anything about Pretty Little Liars. I probably would have loved that show when I was her age. But now, like, as a mother and as an adult woman, I'm like, what the hell is going on in this school with these children?
Yeah. I can't say I know that well, but I've just figured out that it's a television show, I assume aimed for a younger audience.
Yeah, there's kids, like teenage girls, like living like they're 25 and they're like 16. It's just, and like, as a kid, I would have thought that they were adults. No, it's not real, thank goodness. It's not like some weird teenage Big Brother.
Well, I was thinking like that, or like, what's that, My Sweet 16 or whatever it is.
Oh God, I haven't thought about that show in years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say like, oh yeah, like, it hasn't been at least for a week for me, but apparently I just thought of it because I was like, it's like that, right?
Well, hell, Catfish, I just read on Twitter, they've done like 7 seasons. That's one for me. Like, I remember when the Catfish movie came out, like,
Yeah.
not even the series. I watched that on like pay-per-view, I
Wow.
think, one day years ago. It was like 7 years ago. Shit.
Yeah. Is that crazy? The thing that one of the other big ones for me was when I first realized something that I enjoyed doing, something that I used to do all the time, when I was actually able to say, it's been 10 years since I did that. 10 years. That's double-digit years. So for me, it was actually, it was fishing. I grew up, I was on the water, I was in the country. Fishing was something every day in the summer. Me and some friends, we'd grab our poles, we'd go out, and we just, you know, we'd hang out for like a good, whether it was an hour, whether it was 6 hours, we'd just be fishing. And I realized, and now it's been even longer. Now it's been, oh gosh, I'm scared I'm going to hit the 20-year mark at some point. It's probably been like 15 years though now. And that's,
Wow.
yeah, how scary is that when you realize that you're that old? Man,
Yep.
life is crazy.
I mean, at least I'm still the youngest mom at my son's school. I'll have that going for the next few years.
There you go. So,
That'll
just
keep me
bring you
young.
back instead of thinking that you really are somewhere in your 80s and 90s and yelling at kids to get off your lawn. You're like, oh, I'm actually pretty young and beautiful. No big deal. Whatever.
Yep. Compared to all the middle school parents.
I love it. And on that note, we're gonna drop her right there. Guys, you can find her over on twitch.tv/TiffuhKneePlays. I'm gonna have that down below you because that is one heck of a way to spell it. From there, you can also find her on twitter.com/TiffuhKneeP. Chat, give it up one more time for Tiffany.
Thank you guys. It was so fun, Bloomer. Thanks for doing this.
No, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. And guys, we've got plenty more show to go, so stick around. Did you know that if you take your Amazon Prime and link it to your Twitch account, you can sub to your favorite streamer every 30 days free of charge? Now you do. The more you know. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Our next guest has been featured on the show before, and back by popular demand, we've got Sunny_Black Media performing for us his cover of Say Something. Give it up, chat, for Sunny Black Media.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'll be the one if you want me to. And anywhere I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I, feeling so small, it was over my head, nothing at all. And I stumble and fall. I'm still learning to love, just starting to crawl. I say something, not giving up on you. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. followed you. I say something, I'm giving up on you. And I swallow my pride. You're the one that I love. I'm saying goodbye. I say something, I'm giving up on you. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. Anywhere I would have followed you. I say something, I'm giving up on you. I say something, I'm giving up on you. Say something.
Wow. Absolutely incredible, amazing. Guys, remember, you can find him over at twitch.tv/sunny_blackmedia, as well as on Twitter at blackmedia. Chad, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our guests one more time for being on the show. And of course, for you, for staying tuned, for watching, for hanging out with me this last hour. Chat, you be good to yourself. Be good to each other. You keep your stick on the ice. And we will be back next week with plenty more show. Till then, though, bye-bye.